Hello everyone, my name's Sharon, as Julian had already said. My manager actually nominated me to come on this course, and the reason why I was nominated is because I'm a Band 4 and the course was only for Band 5s and 6s, but she saw the potential in me and said, I'd like you to actually come on the course. So I was like, why not? It opened my eyes that some of the managers didn't actually value the course, because during that time when we were on it, some of them were actually saying, can you miss the day? My managers didn't. I'm very fortunate because I work in organisational learning, but others actually had that experience of saying, can you miss the day? And to the credit to them, because some of them actually said, no, I can't, I need to go. So it was one of those things where kind of a bit of a shocker that people didn't actually value it. Also, managers as well, some of them didn't trust some of the people that were on the course as well, and were actually saying, ringing organisational learning and asking if that person had actually attended the course. That was a bit of a shocker for me as well, because I didn't think people actually still did that. Thought everybody was trusted. The course made me reflect on my own role, and as you know, I do work in organisational learning, and I adapted as my style to meet the needs of some of the things that were going on in our department. So in a way, I've kind of started creating some of my own a job for myself in some of it by picking out little bits and recognising where I can make a difference. I see gaps in things that are happening and I'm just getting on with it and working. In fact, I didn't actually realise how good I actually was.
Hello everyone, my name is Promise Basera and I'm a pediatric theatre nurse, so sorry I've come in my blues, I've just stepped down from theatre. I'm not sure how many of you guys actually know what Moving Forward is, the program. So it was brought by the trust for people from ethnic background, because they noticed that a lot of us were only going as far as Band 6s, and then we kind of sort of stopped there. So as you go beyond Band 6s, you struggle to find people of color. So then the trust then brought this program because they wanted us, I think they just wanted to empower us, because some of us, I for one, my matron asked me twice to apply for a Band 7 job, and twice I declined. So this program was brought forward, and then my matron said, I want you to go to this course because I know you're good, but you just don't trust yourself. So I said, fine, I'll go. I was very skeptical. I didn't really think much about it. I just thought, a day off work, I'm really sorry to say that. But it turned out to be the most amazing 8 months? So we had two days a month for the course. We had so many inspirational speakers that came through, and it made me stop and think and look at myself and think of what is it that I actually want, how to go about it, and just how I communicate with my colleagues and how I can change ways. So all I just wanted to say that it's such an amazing course, and it's a shame that only a select few will get the opportunity to go for it. Because I think this is actually a course that should be opened for everybody, but at the same time, we've got to accept that there is a select group that struggles within the trust, which is sad, but it's a fact. So I don't know whether it will be possible for most of our team leaders to get an opportunity to actually attend one of the courses so they can have an awareness of it. Because I think when you just hear us speaking about it, it's not really clear, but when you actually experience it for yourself and see it, then you may then understand, and it'll be easier for you to let people go through it. Because I feel like I now contribute even more than I did in the department, and I think I'm much more valuable to the department than I was before, because I was self-doubting myself. I couldn't be asked, and now I'm quite excited. And sometimes the surgeons tell me that I talk too much, but it's because I'm so excited now. And I think if everyone had that attitude, it would be amazing. And that, for me, it's thanks to the course. So yeah, that was my experience.
Hello, my name is Mary Kambafuile. I've got, for me, I've put this, as you can see, I'm walking, I can say I'm walking confidently because of the course. Before this, I could not even walk or even stand in front of you here, and I'm proud. I didn't know. I've seen my matrons, they're there, so yeah, I know I can add somewhere there. So for me, when I started the course, I just looked at it. I didn't know what it was. I attended one of the courses for the ethnic minority group, so I've got this to show. I was here, but I knew somewhere I needed to get the stars. I needed to run for the stars. So how was I going to do it? I thought there were no opportunities, but no, I was lying to myself. Because having done this course, I can tell you I'm here, from there to here. It's not been easy in terms of finding myself time to come to attend the courses, in terms of me even standing talking to you like this. It's not been easy. So I started there. It was nice. I was excited. I thought I'm going to go and attend the courses. During that time, there was one time, you know, when everybody comes in, like people like Sharon will say, oh, my manager told me to come. Promise to say, band sevens were given, I couldn't go, and I was like, oh my gosh, so what am I doing here? Is it so scary? Is it this scary? So I was flattened by there, and was like, oh, maybe I'm in the wrong place. I don't know what I'm doing. I need to go back. So instead, somebody came in, because we've got so many tools that were given to us. It's just up to us to take it out there. So many tools were given. I didn't know my identity. Yeah, you may say, well, how come? Yeah, I thought because I'm from the ethnic background, I can't talk, I can't stand in front of you. They taught me a lot there. I know my identity. Anything that I can do them. It's in me. It's just up to me to take it out to you there, using the tools that I was given. I started running up presentational skills, as you can see. I think this is good, but getting better. I can be able to present job interviews. There are so many people that have been given new jobs. Most of us are not here. This is just a fraction of those that attended. Many people have got testimonies of having gotten new jobs. They've started. I'm getting there. I'm looking. I know my matron is here, so I'm trying looking for the job interviews. We're given good tools to use. At times you're so timid, especially coming from our background. Some of us were told you have to be polite. So at times you become so polite so that when you enter to the interviews, you're talking, yes, sir. You're supposed to be bold, so resilient, being bold, expressing yourself. And this has been so good for me. So I'm looking forward. I know I'm getting to the stars. And I can just say to all the managers, please give us time, more time to go out there, attend such courses. It will help. When you're out there, you don't know what it is. You feel like maybe it's a group of people coming together to talk ill about this. No, I've been empowered, I've been taught. I can go out there and tell them, actually, it's not just this. We need to take the tools and use them. It's up to us to use those tools. So thank you to Paula and Jenny for awarding us this, and even for my matrons for giving me time to attend such a course. Thank you.
My name is Felicia Onoviran, a gastro research nurse. And I want to say thank you to everybody for giving us this opportunity to actually express what we experienced. Before we went for the course, there were quite a number of things. So I'm just talking about the before. A lot of people express how isolated they are. And of course, that will not help what we are preaching as the lead's way. If you want somebody to have a patient-centeredness, that person should not be isolated. A lot of people were disengaged, so such people will not be able to give what they need to give. And that was the situation when we were all talking to ourselves. You find that it wasn't an island. It was just everybody having the same old stories. But as we went on, during the program, just like my colleague have said, we were given tools. Some of these tools were just in a bag, in a big bag. What is this for? There was tire, there was a pole, there were pins. So what do you do with all these tools? As time goes on, they keep telling us those things. There we were able to know who we are. As it was, somebody told us something during the period, and it never left me. He said, what you are, what people see in you is just a tip of what is underneath. What is your identity? Who are you? So we don't know most of the people we are working with. We just saw them, Felicia, that colored lady, period. You don't even know what I have been through. You don't know my experience. And so you cannot help me. And so when I make mistake, you don't know how to correct me because you don't know where I'm coming from. And that's why what Promise said, if we managers, one or the other, can just attend to actually identify the group of people, what their backgrounds are and what actually is pushing them. Under them, what makes them, what's their identity, what's their experience. And that's going to help them to be able to get informed decision, such informed decision that will make them to be fair in their management of patients, in their attitude to work. It will help them to actually be accountable for what they do. They wouldn't be saying, it was my boss. Why didn't you do that? It was my boss. There's no that accountability coming in because they're not giving all that they need to do. We were given opportunity to identify steps that we can take in making us to be able to give, to work collaboratively. There was an opportunity to have talking with somebody who came to tell us about Googling, texting, and so on. And we were able to, you work in that department, I need help there. And so that social media things is one of the things that can make us to really give the best. And so we need you to help those in this group, to push them out, to go and know who they are, and then come out with what they ought to be. A lot of us have a lot embedded in us, and we're not using it because, one, we're so scared. Two, we're not sure. Three, we're not empowered. But I want to say finally that at that point, we were empowered to go out and give our best. And so all the steps of the Leeds Way was actually brought out in a lot of us. And when we went out in full force to say, we're going to tell other people they need to come. It's such, like you said, it's a busy period. I need to give quite a number of reports to research centers. But I thought that few minutes to come here to help other people to see the need, to bring out what is in them is very, very important. And so everybody afterwards, wherever they are going, they keep on building more confidence, just like you have seen today, and applying the tools that we have achieved to enable us do all we need to do. Taking informed decisions. Sometimes when things happen, you don't take informed decisions, you're just blaming other people, you're blaming other people. You don't really look at, why did he do that? Why am I doing this? What can we do to align it and bring out the solution? And I think that was part of the things that was brought out of most of us at that time. And so I want to say a big thank you for the opportunity to have all those tools. Finally, that one of the last day, we were given this bag of tools. And everybody go bring out whatever you want to need to bring out of the tool. And they gave us some minutes. At the end of the day, a group of people came out with a three-legged truck. Another came out with a four-legged truck. That's what you are going to have from other people that is working with you. If you give them the opportunity to go and have all the tools necessary to make them to do what they need to do. Thank you once more for listening.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. That was brilliant. And we want you to stay because we've got an important discussion to follow, because we want to maximise the impact of what you've just taken us through. And also, I guess, for all of us to perhaps consider this question. And we've talked about some of this before, but I think just listening to the impact of your learning and the journeys you've been on, questions for us really as a group of colleagues here is just to spend some time on how do we raise awareness and encourage applications. And you'll have noticed on that slide that we're encouraging applications for the next programme. Just to go back, just a reminder, we've got open for applications for the 2020 cohort on the 9th of December until the 31st of January. So really important to make sure colleagues are aware of that, because we want to build on the great work that we've heard from the 2019 cohort. And then really just to sort of going through the what you've already heard, what steps can we take to support people when on the course? And also, how do we encourage development of those not on the Moving Forward programme? And some powerful testimony from some of you about thinking, oh, do I really want to do this? You know, and how do we actually, as a trust, really encourage those not on it to consider it and develop it? Now, what would be great would be, if I could be, maybe suggest that we split you four up and get you around the room, because I think it would be really good to generate some conversations with your input, with our colleagues that are here, to answer some of those questions, and then we can draw out some of that in the feedback, and hopefully it'll give us a chance to build on the work that you've described and that's had such a positive impact for you, and that we can share and develop that across the organisation. Is that okay? That sound all right? Okay, let's spend the next 5 minutes or so on those questions. So off you go. Sorry to break in. I know you'll be having really good conversations, but let's try and get some immediate thoughts and views and feedback on those questions. So who'd like to kick off? Yeah, David.
In our little group here, I think we all felt that we could do a lot more to raise the awareness, because quite a few of us wasn't really sure we knew about the programme, wasn't really sure how many people involved, how long it ran for, this, that and the other. So just keeping into that one point was we can all do a lot more through all the different groups we have, not just CSU teams, but non-clinical group, all the different things. We should be advertising this through those different groups so everyone's aware.
Does that resonate with colleagues? So that's great. That's great sort of point number one. Actually, the programme itself, the knowledge and the insight and the spread of the profile of that, and knowing that it's available. Absolutely. Sarge.
So it was just firstly to congratulate colleagues who are here talking on stage. I myself was on the National Breaking Through programme, which was aimed at black and minority ethnic groups as well. And that feeling of empowerment and creating a network is exactly as you described it. So if we can harness that locally in our own organisation and push that really forward, I think it'll be amazing. So I think, as David said, if we can really encourage, support, advertise, be the ambassadors and lead on that, that'll be fantastic, from really putting us out there from lots of different organisations out in the country in terms of being at the forefront of pushing this agenda. So, and well done.
Great. Thanks very much, Sarge. That's absolutely spot on, I think. Great. Other contributions? Joe?
I think Sharon was really candid when she pointed out some of the more difficult reactions to it, in terms of people not being quite sure where someone was and that. But actually the subtext of that is they weren't aware of the value of what was going on in another room, and therefore they were saying, the needs of my department, am I looking at an empty desk, an empty job, what's the story there? So there's the clue. If there's much more awareness at the level of people releasing and enabling this thing to happen and giving it great value, then that should pretty quickly eliminate those less than desirable reactions. Yeah, absolutely. Chris?
My comment was, there's something about how through the people plan we set the intent around this agenda, and the power of sharing the stories, your stories today, is phenomenal. So maybe there's something about videoing some of these stories so that then people have got a resource to and faces to names, so that they can go and ask them about their experiences for all the first cohort.
Already got them.
It's in the can, Chris, it's in the can, but you're absolutely right. I 100% agree. Great. Any other comments? James?
Just wondering whether people can self-nominate to the programme. Do you have to have your manager kind of put you forward, or can you put yourself forward?
Self-nomination.
You can do that?
Self-nomination, and as a manager you want to nominate someone, that person still needs to fill in the application alongside you.
Yes.
Right. That commitment to the learning outcome.
That's great. That's great. And that's good to know. So again, that's perhaps something we can communicate widely about how you can get on the programme. Paul?
Sorry, just a question really. I was just wondering how many people were in the cohort and how many people were hoping to take on for 2020?
Okay.
So we had 20 in our first cohort, which was run in collaboration with the Calderdale Trust. So we had 15 from LTHT and 5 from Calderdale. We're running it with 20 from our trust next year. So that's how many we're looking for.
Fantastic. Good to be working with Calderdale and Huddersfield Trust on this. Just a word to say, at a sort of West Yorkshire level, through the integrated care system, we're doing some work as leaders of organisations on making sure that Black, Asian and minority ethnic leaders, we do more around that. So at all levels, this is getting, I think, more traction. And it's really great. And I just wanted to say to the four of you, fantastic. I mean, I thought the presentations were awesome. The way you all did them slightly differently as well, I thought. And Mary, I love your journey and the road. It's great. So we've got all that. We've captured that on video. We do want this to really flourish here in Leeds Teaching Hospitals. So I'm sure that now as alumni of this, as ambassadors of this, you can sort of proselytise the benefits, and that's really visible just in terms of how you've presented to us today. So I'm sure that's sown a real seed and a real appetite for this amongst us, and I'm sure colleagues will spread the word on the programme in terms of making sure we've got lots of applications for the 2020 cohort. Great. I think another round of applause for you. Great, well done.